Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm just doing some technical bits as usual. Yes, that seems to be working. That's good. You can go away. I need some comments. That would help. Where did they go? Boom, 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 boom. That's where they went. Bear with me. Oh dear, there are the comments. I lost my comments. Hi there. Just give me a second while I'm doing some technical bits because computers and me, not always a good match. There, that's that. Just one more and then I'm all set to go. There we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is David for Elizabeth Craft Designs, ready for another fun live. Looking forward to it. Hi, Annette. Good to see you. Annette's over at YouTube, so that's working. That's good. And then I see Angelique. Robin is here. Ivor, hello. Andrea. Hi, Petri. Hi, Manuela. Hi, Wilma. Hi, Gabriella. Lots of people joining. Hi, Ans. Dimfna is here. Robin is here. Sylvia. Good to see you all. You're coming in quickly. So, hi Belinda. Hi Leslie. Hi Naomi. Good to see you. Let me see if I can find myself on my phone. It's always my cross-check to see whether things are running smoothly. And then we're ready to go. Excited for today. Looking forward to it. It's been a while since I've been in my craft room. So that's good to have some fun. I saw myself somewhere. Where am I? There we go. Yes. Okay. Now I'm all set. How's everybody doing? It's been a while since I've been in my craft room. I've been busy with all sorts of fun stuff. Hi, Candice. Hi, Angela. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Lilian. Hi, Patricia. So, yeah, what I'm going to do today, I'm going to play with my latest collection in the garden. And I'm going to show you some fun techniques, fairly playing. But I'm going to make single level ATC. Well, technically it's a matte layer on an ATC card, but it's single layer. Single layer ATC, single layer cards, single layer art journal. Well, you can do these techniques, because it's two, on anything. Planner, cards, ATCs, art journals. So it's a really fun technique. I'm pretty sure a lot of you know it already, but it's just fun to sometimes go back to all the techniques, and for some of you it will be new. So that's always with these kind of things. What do you do, right? What do you do? Because nothing's new. Everything's been done, I think. So yeah, for some of you, you might have seen it before, but then it's fun to revisit, and I might spark some inspiration in your brain, thinking, okay, let's do this. Now, before we continue, let's start again. Before we continue, don't forget to like, share, and comment to be able to win the $50 gift certificate. Now, the $50 gift certificate for last week is going to go to Debbie Lammers. Debbie, congratulations. You're the winner of the $50 or €50 gift certificate. And you're going to have fun shopping, because I don't know if you've noticed all the sneak peeks going around from Angelica's new collection. It's going to be lovely again. That's Wednesday. Join Angelica this Wednesday for the launch of her new collection. It's going to be fantastic. Oh, that's a Facebook thing, Belinda. I had that so many times. Hi, Anita. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Candace. I already said hi, Candace, right? Sometimes. So, good. Let's switch the cameras around, and I will talk you through what we're going to do, shall we? So I've got a nice clear workspace here, and I'm going to show you different techniques, and I'm going to start with the simplest one, and you can do this. I'm using distress inks and oxides, both. However, you can do this technique with any water reactive ink. And I will show you the difference using oxides and normal inks. Oxides are a bit easier. Normal inks are a bit more crisp. So, well, we'll figure it out. Mowed lawn. Slightly different in color, but the name is the same. It's the undertone that is the same. So that's what we're going to do. It is, Anya. It's a gorgeous new collection, isn't it? Hi, Terry. So, let me think. What am I going to do first? Because I've prepped a lot, but I can't find my prepped stuff. Where did I put it? I'm driving myself crazy sometimes. Here it is. Underneath all my stamps. So I'm going to start with ATCs, right? Shall we do that? So what I did, I've cut ATC cards out, a matte layer from, this is from the Torn set, an older set. You know I love that one. It's a great ATC base. So this is the base card that comes with that. This is the matte layer that's going to go on top. So I've done that 3 times. And this base layer is cut out of the Backgrounds Volume 2, which is the C023. So Backgrounds Volume 2. That's that one. No, Sandra, I haven't, and I'm not gonna, because I've got the complete set of oxides. So I don't see any added value in buying the minis for that. I've got the minis from the Distress inks, and I don't use them because I have the big ones. So that's why I'm not gonna invest in that. So I'm curious. I think they should be working the same. So, what am I gonna do? I'm going to put this in a safe spot. And I'm going to grab my stamping platform. Let's grab this one. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that this is really stuck in the corner. Just so I can reposition it. And I'm going to do this one there. This is one of these sticky mats that go into your MISTI. Trying to keep up with the comments, but you're going quickly. Hey Femke, hi Rick, hi Michelle. Well, welcome Michelle. The first time is always good, right? You're more than welcome. So, soft finish card. Love soft finish cards, you probably know that. And I'm going to be stamping using my platform. Yeah. And I'm going to use this stamp for that. Just for this purpose. Any of these stamps will work for this technique. But this one is from the Garden of Love, the CSD 413. This has the matching dies to go with it as well. So let me just, I'm positioning it like that. So I have the majority of the flowers on there. And I know it's on an angle, but I don't mind that much. So I put you to the side. And what I'm going to do, so I'll show you with oxide first. Hi, Els. Welcome. So I'm going to ink up my stamp using my oxide ink in Mowed Lawn. And one thing that's important, I'm going to have my green brush ready. I've got a brush for each color, and oxides and Distress ink. Reason is, this is an oxide brush. You don't want this to you don't want the oxide ink going into your normal ink. That's why I've got 2 sets. I'm not saying you should, but people always ask. So, okay, inking that up, stamping it down. Hi Karen, good morning. Hi Kim, good afternoon. Hi Mina. Hi Michelle. So, press that down, so you've got a nice and clear image. What I'm going to do now is I'm taking my brush, and because this is an oxide, it stays wet longer, so I'm just going to go over that, go all around, and that's going to make it fuzzy. I love the look, it's almost waxed for some reason. So, I'm just going to continue that. This works best with an oxide because it stays wet longer. You see that? I love the look of this. So next I'm going to grab my little tiny brush. Let me see if it's clean. That might help, right? Piece of paper. It's cleanish. Good. So what I'm going to do next. Thank you, Anya. It is. I love it. So what I'm going to do, I don't want green flowers. So what I'm going to do is with my water, I'm going to go in and dab the color off. Go in and dab the color off. And I'm keeping it in my Misty because I'm going to take off the little details from the flower, etc. as well. And I'll fix that in a minute. And you can do this with your normal inks. But just the blending part is a bit easier when you use your oxides. So just dabbing off that color. You see, you can really lift almost all the colors off. Smudging look, exactly. So I'm just... And again, this is soft finish card, and it just takes the water beautifully. Don't mess with it too much, but yeah. But you can really see the difference where I lifted off the color. I'll give you a close-up. Do you see the difference between this flower and this flower? It's really a big difference. Else, I just did that. You see the difference? So I'm just doing this. My zoom button isn't working anymore, otherwise I would have zoomed in a bit. Just wait, Anita, just wait. I promised you several techniques, right? So I'm quickly going to finish this one. There's no point in using chlorine with this particular technique because the cardstock is white and the ink you lift off with water. So why would you use chlorine for that? I don't know. But I agree, with chlorine you can do fun things, and we're going to do that later today. So stay tuned for that. I think I've got all the flowers now. So, this is all the flowers now white. You can leave it as at this. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna use some candied apple, which is a nice bright red, and I'm going to use some wild honey and some fossilized amber. Just 3 nice colors in the normal distress formula. Spritz a bit of water. I'm going to start with the lightest, which is fossilized amber. And I'm just going to color in these flowers again. And now, because I lifted off that green, I don't get any mud. And you get the real, true, bright colors from the distress ink coloring this in. Now, if I would have done that over the green, it would become muddy, cloudy, because the oxides would overtake. There's a pigment in the oxide ink, and that would overtake the yellow. So, not a disaster, of course, because the Yellow and green make great combinations, but with this technique you could even do colors that would normally create mud. So now I've got some questions. Some of my collection is sold out at the moment, but be patient. It will come back. But it's great to see how much you guys loved in the garden collection. No, this is my own collection, Karin. My previous collection. I don't have any Christmas this year. So that's the first layer. So next I'm going to take some of the fossilized amber and I'm just going to dab it on there. Now again, this is soft finish card. It's not watercolor paper. So at this stage you need to dab it on and let the color do its thing. Anita taught me that. And then it can really hold up to everything you throw at it. So I just want these centers a bit darker. And then I'm going to take some of the red. Doris, that's going to be launched on Wednesday. And I'm just going to use a tiny bit of red in the heart of that flower. Just for a bit of fun, fairly. Now that was a bit much, but you can take it off. And I'm a guy, guys. You saw two things at the same time. Reading comments, answering a question. There we go, fixed. So make sure you don't have too much ink on your so just by dabbing, and because it's moist underneath, it will blend beautifully if you just let it do its thing. Yeah, we have sneak peeks out on the, so people have seen parts of it already. So that's probably why, Doris. But how fun is this technique, right? You see that? So easy, but as I said, I've lost some of the detail. So what I'm going to do next, water. Here's water. Clean my stamp, which is something I rarely do, but when I use oxide or distress inks for stamping, I do clean off my stamps, because otherwise it will make your it'll mix with your pigment ink. That's not a good idea. It becomes cloudy. Now I'm going to take Mowed Lawn in the ink version. Great, isn't it, Naomi? I know, Naomi says over at YouTube that she's loving the depth of color in these flowers now. Yeah, it is a watercolor pen, but I never have water in them. I don't like that, because then I squeeze too hard and there's a lot of water. Blah, so. That's why I don't fill them, but it is one of those brushes, yes. So now I'm just going to stamp over that again, making sure that this is right in the corner again, so I don't, oh, you don't want to do that. Right in the corner there. Stamp that again. Thanks, Annette. And now you've got your detail back, nice and crisp with the distress ink, but you still got that hazy look in the background. Cool, right? I really love this technique. So, I will finish this one. I'm gonna ink the edges using scorched timber. Now that's a really dark color. But it's pretty, right? Make sure it's dry, so don't smudge it. But I'm just gonna hit the edge with that scorched timber. And it just gives it that almost burnt, scorched look. That's why it's called scorched timber. Even coming in a bit more on the corners, gives that nice smoky. I love that. Well, that's why I left my ATC card, or my matte layer, in my Misty. So I could restamp it that way. Okay, that's that. I'm just quickly gonna ink this as well. Which part am I gonna use? This side. Just gonna go around that, because I don't like the white core of the paper, and this will take it away. It makes it look more grungy as well. I will stamp the backs of these on a later time, because I don't want to bore you. You get the idea, right? Stamping the back. And then just some glue. There we go. So that's on there. Now we need a sentiment. So let me clean this up. But this is fun, right? Love that. Naomi, what are you saying? Even a light brown ink. Okay, I got you now. I'm not going to drown it in ink, right? Right, I'm going to get my Misty out again. Take out this stamp, because I'm going to use another stamp. But first, let me get another piece of soft finish card in there. I'm going to shove that way in the corner. Now this is the journal phrases. Oh, I forgot to write down the number. Journal phrase, but it's a CS416. Journal phrases 5. I've lost count. I'm sorry. I've written everything down. I was prepared for once, but then if you don't write down the number. Right. I normally always stamp these out using my VersaFine inks or VersaFine Clair inks. In this case, I'm gonna use sort of the same technique, and I'm gonna show you how it works with just the distress ink. It's a bit more work if you do that. Writing a book, oh dear, I don't have time for that. And guys, all these techniques I learned from others, right? I mean, so I'm getting quite some questions. I just have to get rid of something in my screen. There we go. I'm getting quite a lot of questions on how to use this stamp. I say the best way to use it is in a stamping platform. And what you shouldn't forget, you have to put a lot of ink on it. There's a lot of lines, a lot of words, a lot of letters. So you've got to make sure everything has a good layer of ink. Now doing it in a stamping platform will give you the opportunity to restamp, which is good, right? So good layer of ink, make sure this is up in the corner and press that down. And then if you have one of these chucky things, which I have but I can't find, so I'm using my hands. Just do a bit of a dance on there, a bit of a tap dance. So, you see, I've got a perfectly good stamp. So, now this is distress ink, so it will not be as crisp as the other one, the VersaFines, but good enough. Another layer, press it on there. Now I'm going to be a bit more quick. Take my brush and do the same fairly. Now as you can see, this is moving way less than when I use the oxide. You see that? But it's still giving that effect. And it will be a beautiful match with my ATC card. And I always take this a step further, which I will do now as well. Now there might have been some oxide on my brush. I don't mind. But you get the gist, right? See that? This is a fun effect. Now, next I'm going to splatter some water. Let that sit for a second. And take that off. So you get that bleached effect again, right? So make sure it's pressed back up in the corner. I'm going to give it one more layer of ink. You can actually use these air hockey pucks for that, Femke, to press down your ink. But I've got a special one. I'm still in the process of changing my studio around, which got stuck in time. And there we go. You see that? So it's now, you can read it, it's nice and crisp, but it's got the same effect as on my ATC card. This is such fun to use. So, put this to the side. Now I need my scissors. And which one am I going to use? Because I want to finish this one. This one's too wide. This was fun, because this was fun, right? So I'm just going to cut that one out. Exactly. No, Sylvia, I don't ink up my brush. So I use the ink. That's why you have to move quite quick. I use the ink that I put on with the stamp, and I blur that out. That is the trick. So because if you ink up your stamp again, so that's going to go on there. So not 100% single layer, but it's fun, right? I mean, it's not a background plus the die cut of the stamp plus the saying, "Hi Joseph, good to see you." There we go. Is it straight? Yeah. Straight enough. So, done. ATC card. Beautiful. I love it. So that's going to go, you know what, I'm going to put it in this one, this beautiful ATC folder that I made during a live for Scrapbook magazine. I'm going to put that in there, and this will come with me to Banff. Okay, that was 30 minutes in. And we're, what, 30 minutes? Yeah, 30 minutes in, and we're already one technique down. So, hello back to South Alabama. Thank you, Louise. Oh, hi, Louise. Haven't you, Annette? Wow. I taught Annette Green something. Yay! Well, you taught me a lot, so that's... I return the favor, darling. Right, let's get on to the next step, or the next technique, which sort of elaborates on what we've been doing. But I want to make a card. So, what I've got here is a card base cut out of my Bloom file folder, which is sold out at the moment at the EU website, but will come back. But in the US, it's still available. Hi, Cheryl. So, I'm going to fold this in half. This is the perfect card size for the European people. And you can use it in the US as well. You might have to alter the height a bit to be able to fit it into a standard envelope. But that will still work. So, this is now a perfect card. So, I'm going to use... I've got my stamp already here. This beautiful stamp set, which is called the Summer Flower, the CSD 414. Now, you get a matching die to cut out the flower, which is absolutely perfect. But in this case, I'm going to use it slightly different. Everything is in the corner. And it fits on here like it's designed to fit on there. Wink. So, now, okay, you can choose what color should I use as a background. Green again? Or maybe we can turn it into a vintage color. So I use vintage photo. What do you think? Vintage photo as a background and then color it in with orange? Let me know. And I know Femke is going to say pink, but we can do the flower pink. Let me know. Yes to brown. I know, Femke. I have predicted it already. Rusty hinge. That could be cool as well. Hi, Amy. Welcome. Great to see you here. Vintage photo. Let me see. Do I have vintage photo here? In the oxide? No. Why don't I have vintage photo there? It's because it's packed somewhere else. I don't know. Okay, so not vintage photo. Rusty hinge I don't have in the... Okay, rusty hinge. Here it is. I've got all my inks to the side here. I'm going to use rusty hinge. And then to please Femke, because I'm always teasing her about the pink, I will use variation of pink. Right? Shall we do that? Brown brush. Be prepared. Be prepared. Here's a brown brush. Okay. Making sure there's a good layer of ink on there. Yeah, I wanted to do vintage photo, but I can't seem to find my vintage photo in oxide, which is weird because I know I have it because I teach classes with it. So it's not where it should be. Am I the only one with that you can't find anything you search for in your own craft room? Okay, let's stamp this out. I'm going to move a bit quicker now. You saw the technique in the beginning, but I just want to show you it's a very cool card as well. Okay, let's go back. It needs a bit more pressure there, and that's what I love about using a stamping platform. You can just go back, give it extra pressure. I want a bit more ink on there, so I'm going to do that. And I actually should have an orange brush for that. That I've already got here. Yeah, this is my oxide. You can recognize your oxide brushes. These are really smooth ink. These are a bit greasy oxide. That's why I don't want to mix them. And I'm going to come in. I'm going to smudge this around. You see the difference? Remember the green one I did with the text? I had to work it really hard. In this case, I can really just move around. Oh, this is also such a gorgeous color. There's so many nice colors. So I'm just sort of covering that up, making this really soft. Look, now, going back to my little brush. Boom, 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 boom. And a piece of paper, just so I can dab it off, making sure it's clean. Oh, great. Good to hear I'm not the only one. So, this one actually is easier because it's a bigger stamp, less detailed, so you can be a bit more brutal, which in my case is a good thing. But sorry, Femke, I'm not going to use pink with this color combination, I think. Okay, let me dab that off. It's already doing its thing, you see. So easy. That's how easy it is. So I'm just taking off the majority of that ink. And I just love working with soft finish card because it's such a forgiving paper. Who else? Is there anyone out there that agrees with me? Loving soft finish card? Oh, something happened here. What did I do? Oh no. Well, never mind. I'm still live, right? For some reason my phone isn't showing me. There we go. My phone is always my check whether I'm still alive. So my question was, do you love Elizabeth Craft Design's soft finish card as much as I do? It's really my most used white cardstock. Now you can even go as far as taking off all the color from the leaves as well. I'm not gonna, because I just want that pop of color on the flower. So I'm just like this, removing all the color. Like so. And it doesn't have to be perfect, so good enough for me. But you can really see a difference, right? It's really a lot lighter. So let's grab this is the thing, if you go off script, David, you lose, you have to find things. Let's do Mermaid Look. Oh no, Selvage Patina. I love my Selvage Patina, so let's do that. There we go, Selvage Patina. And I'm just going to use one color there. This is way too much color, David. Now this will oxidize a bit because I'm using it with water. And I'm just going to color in my petals. And again, I've lost all the definition of this petal, of the petals of the flower, but that really doesn't matter. So, simple coloring the Devid way. Just quickly coloring that in. And you can use watercolor for this. The Elizabeth Craft watercolor would be beautiful on this as well. But I just wanted to show you with just a couple of products that you can already do different things. So now I'm using just one color to color in the petals. I'm not doing any shading. I'm missing comments, guys. I'm sorry, but I have to keep my head down and watch. So you're looking at my gray head. You get some natural shading anyway, if you're not doing it perfect like I do. Thank you, Kathleen. Yes, that's an oxide. Salvage patina. In the oxide formula. You can do it with an ink, then you get a brighter color, but I did this on purpose because I did the coloring with a normal distress color first. Now I wanted to show you the difference when you use an oxide, that you cover up even more of the detail. You lose more of the detail by doing that. Ooh, there's a water drop here. There we go. There we go. This flower bud. There we go. Need a bit more. Nearly done there. So, and then I'm going to show you another technique in a second, which is going to be really fun. Hi, Isa. That last technique is going to extend the way you use your pattern paper quite dramatically. Okay, I think I got all the flowers done right. I just need to do the flower centers. And for that, I'm going to use wild honey, because wild honey goes nicely with rusty hinge. This is an ink. You can use inks and oxides together. Oh, missed a few leaves there. And that's going to be a nice pop of color there. Just some was a bit wet there. There we go. I didn't want a orange leaf. There. That's it. Now quickly, I'm going to give this a blast with my heat tool because it's pretty wet. Oxides obviously take longer, and I've used a lot of colors. It's perfect. Soft finish card is perfect when you make flowers. It's the best paper out there for making flowers. Nothing beats it. But I also love it for these kind of techniques. It absorbs the ink in a certain way, and it really I'm not doing that constantly, Patricia. Oh, you mean the links? Nothing I can do about that. Right, let me. Dum, dum, dum. So, now I'm going to restamp because it's quite blurry and I've lost a lot of detail. So, it's a cool color combination, right? Rusty hinge and salvage patina. For me, vintage photo in salvage patina. Match made in heaven. But this is also really pretty. Okay, let's do that. And stamp that again. Look at that. All the details back. A beautiful single layer, so it's very light. It fits into your envelope easy. Love that. Needs a sentiment though. Now, I don't want a green one, do I? No. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my other. It's the benefit of having two. You can switch back and forth. Piece of paper. That would be nice. Thanks, Annette. Let's do an experiment and try it on the velvet side. On soft finish cards, you've got a smooth side and you've got a velvety side. I just used the smooth side. I'm going to do it on the velvety side because I even love how that takes ink more than the other side. And am I going to use, what color am I going to use? I'm going to do something fun. Let's experiment together. This might fail. I'm going to use my salvage patina. Really ink that up well. It's a nice juicy ink pad, so that makes it easier. Just press this down. Stamp that again. I'm going to do that again. Should have cleaned my stamp because there was a bit of green on there. I don't care. Okay, I need my blue brush. This one. You see? Greasy looking. Take my brush and smudge that out. Like that. Then I'm going to take, leave the stamp there, David. Don't take the stamp off. Clean it. There we go. Yeah, rusty hinge. So I'm going to stamp it now with rusty hinge, going over that. Welcome to the I'm not too bothered because there's always a hint of green in salvage patina anyway. So I'm using the oxide again. I should have used the ink version, but again, if you only have the oxides, that's fine as well. Make sure it's up in the corner. Stamp that again. I actually like that. It's a bit psychedelic. But it's a cool effect. Look at that. How fun is that? I love that. Okay, this is new to me. I'm loving this. How cool is that? I'm just going to do one more layer of ink. Do that. This is so cool. Okay, I'm a happy camper. Now, what shall we put on there? Plant, dream, grow. I think that's a beautiful saying. Oh, only 10 minutes left. I will quickly finish this. And then this is really, I love this. That's going to go on there. So no splattering in this case. But it's nice that that blue comes back. So here's a very simple card. But I love this, the effect it gives. Cool, right? Moving on to the next. Now, I'm not going to be able to finish this one, but you'll get the gist. Okay. This is cut out of my Backgrounds Volume 2. And I'm going to do the same again, stamp it there. In this case, I'm going to stamp using black. And I'm going to use a pigment ink. Doesn't matter what kind of pigment ink, need to clean that. Need to clean that. Yeah, I know, Sandra, but I can't keep you here all night, right? But I do want to show the technique, because again, some of you may know it. It's already been mentioned in the comments, but some of you may not know it. So I'm just going to ink up my stamp with black ink. Again, make sure there's a good layer of ink on there. It's a lot of detail in this stamp. And you want that all to transfer. And if you do, just don't put enough ink on. It doesn't stamp as beautiful. And press that down. So, hello back to Illinois. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There. Beautiful. Look at that. In one go. All the detail is there. Right. Quickly gonna dry that. And then I'm going to take out my secret ingredient. And that is plain old bleach. This is cheap bleach. I did find that the more expensive one worked better, but this is what I've got, so I'll make it work. I need to, do I have something to put it on, because this is quite thin and runny. I'm going to grab this lid. There we go. So I'm just going to put some bleach on there. Then I'm going to take just a piece of paper towel, which is coming together nicely, by the way, it is. But I'm going to use it for this. And what I'm going to do is put bleach onto my paper. Quite a lot. And that will bleach out all the lines that I just stamped on there. That's why I'm doing it on my stamping platform again. So I can re-stamp it in a minute. This is a mistake I always make. It's stringy. But yeah. I'm doing it again. I'm warning you about it, and I'm doing it again. There we go. So I'm really saturating that with that bleach. And that should bleach it out nicely, because I tested it. Yeah, it's starting to work. It's starting to work. But obviously this takes a bit of time. And when you're done, it really takes, well, nearly the whole flower is going to be lighter. It's not going to be completely white, because our cardstock is a very high quality. We use great printers, so there's a lot of pigment on the card from the printer. So that's why you can't get it completely white, but it's changing the color a lot. And what it's doing is that you can go over it with like a colored pencil or with your distress inks. You've got to watch your clothes. And I'm wearing a brand new shirt, so Daniel will kill me. That's a good one, Els. I didn't think about that, wearing a new shirt. So, I'm just dipping it in my water, and using that water I'm sort of reactivating the bleach that is already on there. And what this does, it will create a background for you that you can color with your colored pencils quite easily, or with distress ink, whatever you want. So, sort of the same as we did with the water, right? It does, Paula. I'm just helping it along, and you can see it speeds up the process a bit. The heat bleaches it out even more. I don't know, Sylvia, I've never done that before. You see the difference in color? I will bring it closer. I like this effect on its own, even if you don't color it in. But I will do some coloring. So I've got my chroma flows here. I have my Caran d'Ache ones that I use when I'm just coloring, but this is easier with you guys. And I'm just going to use yellow. I'm going to do one leaf, and then I'm going to love you and leave you. This wasn't dry enough yet, but is this one dry? Yes, this one is dry. So again, easy coloring. Just gonna do this. There we go. Then I'm gonna come in with a darker color and create some shadows at the tips of the flower. Like that. Keeping the middle a bit lighter, and then coming in with the darkest one, darkest orange. I'm just doing this tip here, here, and here, just giving it some pops of color. And just because I removed that color from the paper, it makes it easier to blend your colors. So going back over with my lightest color. Well, it's worth a try. And now by going over it with the lightest color, you blend all these colors together nicely. Now, I'm going to do one last thing, and that is take my white And with my white, I'm just gonna give it a highlight in the center of the leaf. And it's very subtle, but it gives a nice effect. Let me show you in a close-up. You see that? It really looks like it's curved now, because the light brings it more forward, the dark pushes it back. So, this is, I've done a sample. This is what it looks like if you just do it in a hole, and then you re-stamp it. So I can do that just quickly to show you. And then you've got all the details back. There you go. Do you see how cool that is? Now you see how much detail you lost by bleaching it all. But I love the look of this. So that is it for today. 3 fun projects. A beautiful card. I love this technique as well. I'll pop this one in just so you can see it. Like that. This one wasn't finished yet. There. And the ATC card. So, not bad for 1 hour of playing, right? I love it. So, that was it for today. Thank you for joining me. Again, don't forget to like, share, and comment to be able to win the $50 gift certificate for next week. And again, congratulations, Debbie Lammers, for winning this week. I'm going to switch off, and I'd love to see you all for the next time I'm on. But before that, don't forget, Wednesday, Angelica is here, and be ready to be blown away, because I've seen some samples from the design team, and it is fantastic. So be here Wednesday. And then I'll see you the next time I'm here. I don't know when it is. It's planned. It's in the planner somewhere. I don't know when from the top of my head. But I see you then. Thank you. Bye.